My beloved child, I want you to slow your thoughts for a moment and notice something very simple but very real. You are here right now, reading these words, and there is a reason for that, deeper than coincidence, deeper than chance, deeper than anything your mind has tried to explain away. I have seen every moment that brought you here, every delay, every shift in your day, every small turning of your attention that led you into this space. And I want you to understand something gently but clearly. This is not random. I did not allow this moment to appear before you without purpose. There is a divine appointment wrapped inside this very breath you are taking right now, and I am speaking to you with calmness, not to rush you, not to overwhelm you, but to awaken something within you that has been quietly waiting to be heard, because I know there is a question resting deep in your heart, even if you have not fully said it out loud. A question that sounds like, why am I here? Why did this appear in front of me? Why now? Why this moment? And I want to meet you right inside that question, not with confusion, but with clarity that settles like peace in your spirit. You are here because I have not stopped reaching for you. Even in the moments you felt distant, even in the moments you felt unsure, even in the moments you thought nothing meaningful was happening, I have been carefully guiding your steps in ways you could not always recognize, because love does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes love arranges things quietly until the heart is ready to notice, and right now your heart is being invited into awareness, not pressure, not fear, but awareness. There are moments in your life that are not ordinary. They carry weight, they carry meaning, they carry timing that is not shaped by randomness but by purpose. And this is one of those moments. I want you to feel the stillness inside these words, because in that stillness, something important is being revealed. You have not been forgotten, you have not been overlooked, and you are not walking through life without direction, even when it has felt that way at times. I have been closer than you realized, even in silence, even in uncertainty. I have been present in the details of your journey, and I have seen how often your heart has searched for meaning in small signs, in quiet thoughts, in moments when you felt something deeper was trying to reach you, but you could not fully understand it. And I want you to know that those moments were not imagined. They were invitations, gentle ones, drawing you toward awareness of something greater than what your eyes could see. This moment right now is part of that same unfolding. It is not loud, it is not forced, but it is intentional. And I want you to simply stay here for a breath longer, not to analyze, not to rush ahead, but to recognize that something within you is being gently awakened. I am not speaking to the version of you that overthinks or questions everything. I am speaking to the deeper place within you that still knows how to feel, how to sense, how to recognize truth when it touches your spirit. And I am telling you with love that this is a moment set apart, a moment where timing and meaning meet, where what feels ordinary becomes a doorway into something deeper. And even if you do not fully understand everything yet, your spirit already recognizes that this is different, that there is something in these words that is meant for you in a personal way, not distant, not general, but close. And I want you to remain open just a little longer, because what feels like a simple moment of reading is actually an invitation into awareness, an invitation into stillness, an invitation into remembering that you are seen more deeply than you realize. And nothing about this moment is wasted. Nothing about your presence here is accidental. I have brought you here with care, with intention, and with a purpose that will slowly become clearer as you continue to listen within your heart. And in this quiet beginning, I want you to simply hold on to one truth. You are not here by chance. You are here by design, and something meaningful is beginning to unfold within you even now. My beloved child, now that your heart has begun to settle into this quiet awareness, I want to gently stay with you a little longer in this space of honesty, not to rush you, not to correct you, but to truly see you the way you have longed to be seen, because I know there is something underneath your daily strength that very few people ever notice, something you have learned to hide so well that even you sometimes forget how heavy it feels. And I want to speak to that place right now, the place where your exhaustion lives, the place where your silent struggle has been unfolding for far too long. I see the weight you carry that no one applauds you for, the emotional fatigue that builds up when you keep showing up for others while quietly feeling like you are running out of strength inside. I see how often you tell yourself to keep going, even when your soul feels tired in ways you cannot explain with words. And I want you to know I am not distant from that part of you. I am not unaware of what it costs you to keep pretending that everything is fine when inside there are thoughts you never speak out loud, moments of heaviness you quickly push away before anyone notices. I see the quiet mornings when you wake up already feeling behind in life, already feeling like you are carrying more than your heart was meant to hold. And I see the nights when your mind does not fully rest, when thoughts replay themselves, when worries echo softly but persistently in your spirit. And even though you may try to smile, try to function, try to keep everything in order, there is still that hidden place inside you that feels stretched thin, and I have not overlooked it. I have not ignored it. I have been near you in every moment of that silent struggle, even when you thought you were facing everything alone, even when you felt like no one truly understood the depth of your emotional fatigue. I want you to hear this with tenderness, not as correction but as recognition. You have been carrying more than you were meant to carry alone. Responsibilities that pressed on your mind, expectations that weighed on your heart, unspoken disappointments that never found a safe place to be released. And over time, this has formed a hidden pain within you, not always visible on the outside, but deeply felt on the inside. And I know how easily you have learned to adapt to it, how you tell yourself that this is just life, that you have to be strong, that others depend on you, that there is no space to slow down. But I see what it is doing to you. I see the quiet exhaustion that builds when your heart has no room to rest, when your spirit keeps giving without receiving comfort in return. And I want you to know I am not here to add more weight to what you already feel. I am here to acknowledge it with you, to stand with you in it. Because even your hidden pain is not hidden from me. Even your silent struggle is not silent in my presence. I hear what you do not say. I see what you do not show. I understand the parts of you that feel worn down from trying so hard for so long. And there is no judgment in my voice toward you. Only understanding, only compassion, only presence. Because I know what it means to feel overwhelmed inside while still trying to move forward on the outside. And I want you to pause here in this recognition, not to fix anything yet, not to solve anything yet, but simply to let yourself be understood. Because there is something deeply healing about being seen in your exhaustion without needing to hide it. There is something gentle that begins to happen when you realize you are not alone in what you carry. And even now, in this moment, I am with you in that hidden place where your tiredness lives, not asking you to be stronger, not asking you to push harder, but simply reminding you that I see the full weight of what you have been carrying, and I have never turned away from you in it, not even once. My beloved child, as you remain with me in this quiet place of honesty, I want to gently take you a step deeper, not to overwhelm you, but to help you see what has been shaping your inner world more than you realize. Because beneath the exhaustion you carry, beneath the silent struggle you have been enduring, there are thoughts that have slowly formed into beliefs, and those beliefs have not always been true, yet they have felt true to you. And that is where the weight becomes even heavier, because I see the voice that has been whispering to you in moments of weakness, the voice that tries to define you through fear, through doubt, through past pain. And I want to lovingly bring those hidden thoughts into the light, not to shame you, but to free you from them. Because I know how long you have been hearing things like you are forgotten, as if your life is unnoticed, as if your prayers disappear into silence. And I want to gently tell you that this is not the truth, even though at times it has felt convincing. Even though there were seasons where silence made you question your worth, I have never stopped seeing you, not even for a moment. And there is another voice that has tried to settle in your heart, a voice that says you are not enough, that you are always falling short, always behind, always missing something that others seem to have. And I want you to recognize that this is a false belief that has been placed on your shoulders for far too long, because I did not create you to measure yourself against the weight of perfection. I did not form you to live under the pressure of constant self-doubt, and yet I see how often you have carried that burden internally, how it shapes the way you see yourself, how it influences the way you approach each day, and how it quietly drains your confidence before you even begin. And there is another lie that has followed you in moments of loneliness. The lie that says you are alone, that no one truly understands you, that even when people are around you, your inner world remains unseen. And I want to gently interrupt that belief right now, because loneliness is not proof of abandonment, and silence is not proof of absence. Even when you felt unseen by others, you were never unseen by me. And I want you to begin noticing how these false beliefs have been operating like invisible weights, shaping your fear, shaping your hesitation, shaping the way you interpret your own life. Because fear has a way of rewriting reality when it is left unchallenged. It tells you that delays mean rejection. It tells you that struggles mean failure. It tells you that uncertainty means you are lost. But none of these interpretations are the truth I speak over you. And I want you to feel the contrast between what fear has been saying and what love is revealing to you now. Because self-doubt has been trying to convince you that your past defines your future, that your mistakes define your identity, that your weakness defines your worth. But I am gently breaking that chain of thought within you right now, not with pressure, but with truth that restores. Because you are not the voice of your fear. You are not the sum of your doubts. You are not the label that pain tried to place on you. And even in the moments where you believed you were unworthy of care, unworthy of peace, unworthy of a new beginning, I was still holding your story with patience, still seeing possibilities you could not see in yourself, still speaking life into places where you only heard silence. And I want you to begin recognizing that these false beliefs do not have authority over who you truly are. They are only echoes of pain, not definitions of truth. And as you listen right now, something within you is beginning to loosen, not because everything around you has changed, but because your understanding of yourself is being gently realigned. And in that realignment, fear begins to lose its grip. Self-doubt begins to soften, and the heavy voice that told you that you were forgotten begins to fade in the presence of truth. Because I have never defined you by your fear. I have never measured you by your doubt, and I am not stepping away from you now. I am drawing you back into a deeper awareness of who you are, beyond every false belief that has tried to shape your heart. My beloved child, now I want to gently lift your eyes beyond what you have been feeling about yourself and show you something that has always been true, even when you could not sense it. Because while you have been looking at your life through the lens of struggle, exhaustion, and uncertainty, I have been looking at you through something very different, something steady, something full of purpose, something filled with patience and love that does not change with your circumstances. And I want you to pause here and receive this slowly, because what I see in you is not what fear has been telling you, and it is not what self-doubt has been repeating in your mind. I see something deeper, something hidden, something growing even in places you thought were empty. I see hidden strength in you, strength that did not come from ease, but from every moment you kept going when it felt like you had nothing left. I see resilience that you never gave yourself credit for, because you measured yourself by your breaking points, while I was seeing how many times you rose again after each one. And I want you to understand that in the places where you thought you were failing, I was actually shaping something stronger within you. In the moments where you thought nothing was changing, I was building unseen growth inside your spirit. Quiet growth, slow growth, but real growth. The kind that cannot be rushed, but becomes unshakable over time. And I know you often look at your life and see what is missing, what is delayed, what is still unresolved. But from my perspective, I see the parts you overlook. I see the compassion you still carry, even after disappointment. I see the faith that still whispers, even when fear is loud. I see the way you keep trying, even when you feel tired of trying. And none of that is small. None of that is forgotten. Because in heaven's perspective, what grows quietly in the heart is more powerful than what is seen on the surface. I see the nights when you thought you were just surviving, but I was seeing endurance being formed in you. I see the days when you felt emotionally drained, but I was seeing maturity being shaped in your spirit. I see the moments when you questioned your worth, but I was seeing someone I have never stopped calling valuable. And I want to gently correct the way you have been interpreting your own journey, because what you called delay, I have been using as preparation. What you called silence, I have been using as strengthening. What you called weakness, I have been transforming into hidden strength that will become clear in time. And I want you to imagine for a moment that you are standing in front of a mirror that no longer reflects your fear, but reflects truth as I see it. You would not see someone abandoned. You would not see someone forgotten. You would see someone being carried through unseen growth. someone whose story is still unfolding, someone who is not behind but being formed. And I know this may feel different from how you have been feeling about yourself, but this difference is where healing begins. Because when you start seeing yourself through my perspective, something shifts inside you. The weight of false judgment begins to loosen, the pressure of comparison begins to fade, and the voice of fear begins to lose its authority over your identity. And I want you to stay in this awareness, not rushing away from it, because what I see in you is not a finished struggle but a developing strength, not a broken identity, but a forming testimony. And even now, as you listen, I want you to let this truth settle gently into the places where doubt has lived, because you are not as lost as you thought, you are not as unseen as you feared, and you are not as unfinished as you believe. You are being shaped with intention, held with care, and seen with a love that does not change. And from where I stand, your life is not defined by what feels lacking, but by what is quietly becoming strong within you even now. My beloved child, now I want to gently bring you into a deeper understanding of something your heart has often wrestled with, something that has quietly shaped your questions, your prayers, and even your moments of doubt, and that is the waiting season. Because I know there have been times when you asked within yourself why things did not happen sooner, why answers seemed delayed, why doors remained closed longer than you expected, and in those moments the silence may have felt heavy. But I want to gently show you what you could not see while you were inside the process. Because waiting has never been emptiness, even when it feels like nothing is moving, even when it feels like you are standing still, even when your heart grows tired of not seeing change. I want you to understand that waiting is not rejection, it is preparation. And preparation is always happening even when it cannot yet be seen, just like a seed buried beneath the soil does not look alive on the surface. Yet beneath the ground there is movement, there is formation, there is strength being built in directions the eye cannot perceive, and I want you to see your life in the same way. Because in your seasons of waiting, I have not been absent. I have been working in places you could not access, forming roots within you that go deeper than emotions, deeper than circumstances, deeper than the shifting feelings of each day. And these roots are what will hold you when life begins to move faster, when answers begin to arrive, when new doors begin to open. Because without roots, even blessings can feel overwhelming, but with roots, even delays become meaningful. And I want you to realize that what you thought was pause was actually protection. What you thought was delay was actually alignment. What you thought was silence was actually unseen growth. And I have seen every moment you felt impatient, every moment you questioned whether anything was changing. And I want to gently remind you that growth is not always visible, because some of the most important transformation happens inwardly, quietly, steadily, in ways that cannot be rushed by desire or pressure. And I have been shaping your endurance so that your heart can carry what you have been praying for without breaking under its weight. I have been strengthening your inner foundation so that when the season changes, you will not collapse under the weight of answered prayers, but you will stand with clarity, with peace, with stability. Because what is coming into your life requires a version of you that is steady enough to hold it. And that is why the waiting mattered more than you realized. Not because I withheld goodness from you, but because I was building capacity within you to receive it fully. And I want you to imagine how a tree grows, how it does not rush its seasons, how it does not force its fruit before its time, because it trusts the process written into it. And in the same way, your life has been unfolding under a divine process that is shaping you in layers you cannot always recognize in the moment. And I know it has not always felt easy. I know there were days when you wished things were different. But even in those days, nothing was wasted, nothing was ignored, nothing was forgotten. Because every part of your waiting was part of your becoming. And I want you to breathe in this truth slowly, that you are not behind, you are not stuck, you are not forgotten in delay. You are in preparation. And preparation is not punishment. It is love shaping you for what is ahead. And as you continue to walk through this understanding, I want you to begin releasing the frustration you have carried toward the timing of your life, because I have seen the beginning, the middle, and the outcome that you cannot yet see. And I am telling you that the waiting has been building something in you that will not collapse when the season changes, but will stand strong, steady, and ready for what I have been preparing for you all along. My beloved child, now I want to gently lead your awareness inward, beyond what you have been waiting for, beyond what you have been questioning, and into what is quietly being formed inside you, even in this very season of uncertainty. Because while you have been focused on what has not yet arrived, something deeper has been unfolding within you, something that cannot be measured by time or seen through external change, and I want to help you recognize it with a new kind of clarity, not through pressure or correction, but through gentle revelation. Because the waiting you have walked through has not only been shaping your circumstances, it has been shaping your inner being, forming qualities in you that were once fragile, but are now becoming steady. And I want you to begin noticing how patience is no longer just something you try to practice, but something that has been slowly growing in you through experience, through silence, through moments where you had no choice but to trust the process even when you did not fully understand it. And in that space, wisdom has been forming quietly, not the kind that comes from quick answers, but the kind that comes from lived experience, from sitting with uncertainty and still choosing not to abandon hope. And I want you to see how resilience has been taking shape inside you, not in loud declarations, but in the simple fact that you are still here, still moving forward, still continuing even after moments that could have stopped you, and that strength is not accidental. It is the result of an unseen formation that has been happening over time. And I want you to notice how your compassion has deepened as well, because through your own experience of emotional fatigue and hidden struggle, you have become more aware of the unseen burdens in others, more sensitive to pain that is not spoken, more understanding toward those who are also carrying things silently. And this is not weakness, this is transformation. Because the heart that has been refined through waiting becomes more gentle, more aware, more capable of understanding depth in others. And I want you to understand that even your patience is no longer passive, it is active strength. It is the ability to remain steady when everything inside you once wanted to rush ahead, and that steadiness is forming a foundation within you that will support what is ahead, because what you are becoming is not the same version of you that entered this season. You are becoming someone who can carry both peace and responsibility together, someone who can hold hope without being shaken by delay, someone who can remain grounded even when emotions fluctuate. And I want you to recognize that this transformation has not been random. It has been carefully shaped through each moment you thought nothing was happening, because growth is often quiet before it becomes visible. And just like roots grow deeper before anything appears above the surface, your inner life has been deepening in ways you may only understand later. And I want you to see that patience is now part of your character, resilience is now part of your foundation, wisdom is now part of your perception, and compassion is now part of your response to life. And these are not small changes. These are profound shifts in who you are becoming, because you are being shaped into someone who can walk through future seasons with stability rather than fear, with clarity rather than confusion, with inner strength rather than inner collapse. And even though you may not always feel this transformation in the moment, it is real, it is ongoing, and it is preparing you for a version of life that requires depth, not just desire, endurance, not just hope and understanding, not just emotion. And as you continue forward, I want you to begin recognizing that the waiting season was never empty. It was formative. It was shaping your inner world into something stronger, more grounded, and more capable of holding what is ahead without losing peace within yourself. My beloved child, now that you have begun to see what is being formed within you and how deeply your inner life is being shaped, I want to gently bring you to a moment of decision, not with pressure, not with urgency that overwhelms your spirit, but with an invitation that comes from a place of peace, because every transformation I have spoken to you about is not meant to remain only as understanding, it is meant to become movement within your heart, a turning point where you no longer only observe what is happening inside you, but you begin to respond to it. And I want you to know that this response does not require perfection. It does not require strength beyond what you have. It simply requires honesty, because I see how long you have been holding certain things inside your heart, things that weigh on you quietly, things that shape your reactions, your thoughts, your fears. And I want to gently invite you now to begin letting go of what has been holding you in places of emotional tension, not because you are being forced, but because you are finally being given permission to breathe again. And in this moment, I am inviting you to release what you were never meant to carry alone, the bitterness that has been sitting quietly in your thoughts, the fear that has been shaping your expectations, the disappointment that has hardened parts of your heart over time. And I am not asking you to pretend these things did not happen. I am asking you to no longer allow them to define your present or your future, because there is a deeper freedom waiting for you when you begin to surrender what has been weighing you down internally. And I want to guide you gently into that surrender, not as a loss, but as a return to peace. Because forgiveness is not about forgetting your experience, it is about releasing the hold that pain has had over your spirit. And I want you to understand that you do not have to carry every unanswered question in order to move forward. You do not have to resolve every past wound before you can step into peace. You simply need to be willing to open your hands inwardly and say that what has been heavy is no longer going to govern your heart. And in that willingness, something begins to shift, not immediately in everything around you, but deeply within you, where your emotions begin to soften, where your breathing begins to ease, where your thoughts begin to slow down from constant pressure. And I want you to know that this is not a moment of loss. It is a moment of return, a return to clarity, a return to emotional balance, a return to trust that does not demand certainty before it allows peace. And I am gently inviting you to trust again, not in the absence of uncertainty, but in the presence of guidance that has never left you even when you could not feel it. And I want you to take this step not as something overwhelming, but as something simple in your heart, a quiet decision to stop resisting the process that has been shaping you, a quiet willingness to let go of control over things you cannot fix on your own, a quiet acceptance that you are not meant to walk through this alone in your spirit. And in that acceptance, there is a softening that begins to take place, because surrender is not defeat. It is the moment when your heart stops fighting what it cannot carry and begins to rest in what is greater than it. And I want you to feel that rest begin even now, not as something far away, but as something available in this very breath you are taking. And as you choose to let go, forgive, and trust, you are not losing yourself. You are being released from what has been quietly holding you back, and you are stepping into a deeper alignment with peace that does not depend on circumstances but grows within you as you open your heart to it. And this is my invitation to you, not to become someone else, but to return to the version of yourself that is no longer burdened by what you were never meant to carry alone. My beloved child, now I want to gently lift your spirit beyond what you have been releasing and bring your heart into a place where hope can quietly begin to breathe again. Because when a heart has carried heaviness for a long time, it forgets how to imagine something different. It forgets how to see beyond the weight of today. And I want to gently restore that inner vision within you, not by overwhelming you with promises, but by opening a space where possibility can return. Because what is ahead of you is not limited to what you have experienced so far, and your story is not confined to the patterns you have known. There is a new chapter forming that you cannot yet fully see, but it is already being prepared in ways that are deeper than your current understanding. And I want you to begin to feel a quiet expectation rising inside you, not based on pressure or fantasy, but based on the truth that life is still unfolding, and restoration is not something that belongs only to the past. It is something that continues to move forward into your future, even now while you are still in transition. And I want you to imagine for a moment what it would feel like to no longer be defined by what broke you, but instead to begin walking into spaces where healing has already started to take root, where your emotional weight begins to lift in ways you did not force but gently receive, where your thoughts are no longer dominated by survival but begin to open toward direction, clarity, and peace. And I want you to understand that breakthrough is not always a sudden moment. Sometimes it is a gradual unfolding of doors you thought were permanently closed, opportunities that begin to appear in unexpected places, strength that returns to you slowly but steadily, and restoration that touches areas of your life you once thought were beyond repair. And I want you to hold on to this gently, not as pressure to believe something instantly, but as permission to hope again, because hope is not denial of reality. It is the courage to believe that reality is not finished yet. And I want you to see that your future is not a repetition of your past. It is not locked into old patterns of pain. It is not bound to cycles of exhaustion or disappointment. There is movement ahead of you. There is unfolding ahead of you. There are opportunities forming in places you have not yet walked into. And even now, unseen doors are part of your journey, doors that will open at the right time, not because you forced them, but because they were aligned with your path. And I want you to begin to release the assumption that nothing new can happen for you, because that assumption belongs to a season that is already passing, and what is ahead is not empty. It is being prepared with intention. And I want you to slowly allow your inner world to expand again, to breathe again, to imagine again, not through fear of disappointment, but through the quiet awareness that restoration is still possible for you, that breakthrough is still forming around your life, and that opportunity has not forgotten your name. And as you continue forward, I want you to feel a gentle shift inside you, where heaviness no longer defines expectation, where uncertainty no longer closes your heart, and where the idea of a new chapter begins to feel less like distance and more like something approaching softly, steadily, and with purpose, because your future is not absent of hope. It is quietly preparing to meet you in ways you may only recognize when you look back and realize that you were never as stuck as you thought. You were simply being guided toward something that required time to become ready for you, and now, even in this moment, that preparation continues, forming paths you cannot yet see, but will one day walk into with understanding and gratitude. My beloved child, now as we come to the end of this sacred moment together, I want to gently gather everything you have received into a place of peace within your heart, not as heavy instruction, not as unfinished thought, but as quiet completion that settles like still water over your inner world, because what you were meant to carry from this journey is not confusion, not pressure, not fear, but a softened awareness that you are not walking through life unseen, that your waiting has meaning, that your inner transformation has purpose, and that your future is not closed but unfolding with quiet intention. And I want you to breathe slowly as you let these truths rest inside you, because peace is not something you have to chase. It is something that begins to grow when your heart stops resisting what it has already begun to understand. And I want you to remember that you are not defined by what has been heavy. You are not defined by what has been delayed. You are not defined by what has felt uncertain, but you are being shaped, gently and faithfully, into someone who carries strength without losing softness, wisdom without losing compassion, and faith without losing honesty. And as you move forward from this moment, I want you to carry a simple but powerful truth within you, that your life is still being written in ways that are deeper than what you can currently see, and nothing about your journey has been wasted. Nothing about your tears has been overlooked. Nothing about your waiting has been without purpose. And even now, there is a quiet peace that can remain with you beyond this moment if you allow it to. Not as emotion that fades, but as a presence that steadies you when thoughts become heavy again. And I want you to release the need to have everything figured out. Release the pressure of needing immediate answers. Release the weight of trying to hold every part of your future in your hands, because you were never meant to carry that alone. And in this surrender there is rest, there is clarity, there is a gentleness returning to your spirit that the world could not give you and cannot take away. And I want to leave you with this blessing as you step away from these words. May your heart find rest where it has been restless. May your mind find calm where it has been overwhelmed. May your spirit find strength where it has felt weak. And may you walk forward not with fear of what is ahead, but with a quiet assurance that you are being guided even in the unseen. And let this be the truth you hold close, that you are not alone in your becoming, you are not forgotten in your process, and you are not abandoned in your journey. And as you go forward, let peace remain closer to you than your fear. Let hope remain stronger than your doubt, and let love remain deeper than every voice that once tried to tell you otherwise. Because even now, your life is still unfolding with meaning, with care, and with a grace that does not leave you.